It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Carrie Brown team from Preferred Advisors.
Good Saturday morning to you. This is Carrie Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty and the Preferred Advisors team. And I am back with my co-host, Garrett and Jess Roberts. They own Capital City Duct Cleaning here in town. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Carrie.
So today we're going to be going through what to expect whenever they come out. And then Garrett's going to be answering questions that Jess gets answered all the time. So this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
He's smiling. But she gets asked them, so, I mean, we may as well answer them. So quick news. February will be the end of Real Estate 101 as far as 580 AM and 104.9 is concerned. Going to be doing some other things on radio, just not specifically this show, but I am going to be moving it to a podcast. We're going to really be breaking it down and actually going on site and doing some videos so that you can see what we're talking about. So it's going to be more of a show and tell. So I think that'll be really cool, and you'll actually get to see these guys at some point because we're going to do it with them so that you can see exactly what's going on whenever they come to your house.
I'm super excited about it.
That'd be fun. Can't wait. It's going to be a good time.
And he sort of said that with a smile on his face. So it'll be fun. He'll be busy. He won't even know what I'm up to. All right. So, Jess, what are common questions that you get when people call in?
I think one of the most common questions I get usually from the ladies is, what do I need to do to prepare?
So just to get prepared when I come in, the main thing is if you have like pets or animals, the door will be open for a while we're setting up. And then if there's any furniture in the way or if you're not able to move it, me and my coworker should be able to move whatever needs to be out of the way for the most part. So anything fragile, stuff like that, that's kind of around vents, I would try to get that moved out of the way.
Okay.
That's usually
See
what
how
I tell
easy
them.
that was?
Yeah. That's usually what I tell them. So another question I get is, should I dust before he comes or should I wait until after this is done? And usually how long after should I wait?
So I've had people tell me I've been tested before where they've dusted and then let it set and see how long it takes for the dust to build back up, and they'll wait again until after it's clean to see how long it takes for the dust to get built back up. So I guess that's really on you guys if you want to dust or not, but it probably would help to dust and get all that stuff out of the house initially, and then once it's clean, So
Okay, so when you got tested, did they give you the answer on how long it took?
No, I've never heard back. But a guy said he was sitting in front of a window and was watching the particles in the air, like you can see in the sunlight, before we cleaned and after he cleaned, and he said we passed. So I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say I didn't test him, but I did notice that I didn't have to dust. Like, we live on a gravel driveway, so we've got dust. And I want to say it was probably close to 2 weeks before I had anywhere near a buildup compared to like every day needing to dust.
Yeah. From a woman's standpoint, usually my answer for that question is, don't break your back dusting before he shows up. Give it about 48 hours after he leaves, and then go through and do a really good dusting of your house and just see how long it takes, after he's gone, after the dust is settled from the cleaning, how long it is before you actually have to dust again, because I guarantee that you will see a decrease in dusting.
I would say I still see a decrease in dusting, and you did mine, 2 months ago?
It would have been November sometime.
November? Yeah, it was before Christmas.
Yep. Right during rut.
Yeah, that's right. I will never live that down.
No, never. I will never live it down that I scheduled something during rut, but
that's why I started my own business, so I can make free time.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say that it was a fruitful, exchange. You did get something in return.
Right.
Yeah, it was good. It worked out good, so for sure.
So, other questions I get. How long does it take to clean? That's kind of one of the big ones. How long is he going to be here? I get that a lot.
And it just really depends on where the furnace is, where it's located, how much room I have to work around it. footprint of the house and how big everything is, there's not really set given time on how long it might take or what it could take. It just varies dramatically across the board. So
I usually say, I think my answer to that question usually is, if you're an average size home, you're going to see him for a minimum of 3.5 hours. The bigger the square footage, the more vents you have. Obviously, he's going to be there longer. Every single vent cover has to come off. He cleans every single vent, every return in your trunk line. Nothing's getting missed. So just know that if you have a larger house, it definitely is going to take more time for him to clean. I would expect anywhere an average of 4 to 6 hours.
And if you have more than one furnace and forget to tell him,
yeah,
and one of them is in the attic.
The attic adds time a little bit. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff to drag into attic. So
I won't say that might have been me, but it might have been me.
It was definitely her.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot to ask, so there's that.
Yay, team.
Yeah, right. I know. I won't let you go down alone.
Yeah.
All right. So what other things?
Those are usually the general questions that I have. A lot of people are concerned about their pets, or, with the current pandemic situations going on, what are your safety precautions for COVID?
So we wear masks every house we go to. We wear inside the whole time. Definitely we sanitize. I try to sanitize the hands in the truck between each cleaning, from when I leave the houses to the next, and just trying to be healthy and safe.
Yeah, we really try to do the best we can, given the circumstance. It's kind of hard to clean and sanitize all that huge equipment, but as far as the guys go coming in and out of the houses, we really do try to do our best job making sure that everybody is safe and sound.
Okay, so whenever they call you, what is your typical protocol?
Oh, you're going to call me. I do all of the scheduling. If you get the number off Garrett's truck, it's going to ring to his cell phone, and he's going to tell you to call me anyways. So usually the information that I'm going to need from you, if you do a call-in quote, I'm going to get all of your contact information. We're going to build your profile, name, a good phone number. If you give me a mobile number, that's preferred because we send out text messages during the whole process to remind you of your appointment. You can get your invoice from a text message, things of that nature. I can email over your estimate to you if you provide an email. I'm going to need the servicing address of where we're headed to. Also going to need to know what kind of foundation you're on. A lot of people kind of wonder why I need to know that, but it really helps Garrett out in the cleaning. So that's one of the things that he requests. I like to hear where you heard about us from. It tells us, where we should be doing more marketing and advertising. And then also what is really important when you call in is I'm going to need your event count. That tells us where your pricing is going to be, and it tells us how long it's going to take to clean your house. Our base price starts out with 12 vents. Every vent after that is going to add to your invoice. So the best thing you can do when you call me is already have your event count ready for me. And we can get done a lot quicker. But if you don't, that's okay. I've sat with a notepad and a pen, and we've tallied as people walk through, and I'm totally fine with that. So that vent count is the biggest thing. I'm also going to want to know if you want your dryer vent cleaned or not while Garrett's there. Dryer fires are extremely hazardous, and a lot of people forget that that's a yearly maintenance that you're supposed to do to prevent those dryer fires. So if you're going to want your dryer vent cleaned, I need to know where the exhaust is located on the outside of your home. Once I have all that information, I just kind of plug it in, get some numbers, and I'll email that off to you. Once I email it off, there's a approve or decline that you can click, and based off that decision that you make, I'll reach back out to you with some times to schedule.
Obviously, whenever you are scheduling, where are you at right now as far as scheduling is concerned?
Right now, we're looking at the beginning of February for our first available appointments. I think we have maybe 1 or 2 days. I think we're maybe 1 day left in that week, and then we're going to jump to the second week in February. The guys can get 2 small to average size homes done in a day. If it's a larger home, we're only able to do that 1 job in a day. So with demand the way that it's been with the holidays and people wanting cleanings done before gatherings and things of that nature. We are about 4 to 5 weeks out right now with scheduling.
So that puts you in the week of Valentine's Day, pretty much.
Yeah, you can get your sweetheart a duct cleaning.
I'm going to say I don't recommend that.
Come on,
I mean,
guys.
not unless there's flowers. Yeah. There needs to be flowers involved somewhere if you're going to do that.
I did have somebody want a duct cleaning for Christmas, so we have some gift cards available if you do want one for Valentine's Day, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you better make sure you've asked permission on that one first.
Yes, that's something Garrett would get me for Christmas. We've been saying you want your ducts cleaned.
Yeah. Well, you ask.
I guess you pay attention. Just the weird ones that he pays attention to, I feel like.
Oh, that's awesome. I could see my husband doing the same thing. I did finally tell him a vacuum cleaner is not acceptable. So now he just gets me wine.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Then you can order your own off Amazon when you're drinking your wine.
That's right. Okay, so we had talked before about the weird things that you find, and one of the things that I had told somebody recently was that new construction was one of the ones that you're like really seeing the most stuff in. So at what point after they've closed on the property do you recommend? Is there a time frame or anything like that, or just go ahead and have you come out?
Yeah, so new construction is new construction. I would definitely recommend, like, after you get everything moved in, let it settle down. I would, as soon as you can, if you'd like it done, to give us a call and we could come out and take a look at it for sure. But yeah, definitely, it's new construction. It's pretty bad with all the sheetrock dust and sawdust and everything moving around in the air, and it lands at the lowest point. And the lowest point's of the duct. So. On the floors,
I would say remodels too. I know I was surprised.
Full home re-renovations, and I was having dinner the other night with a friend, and she was talking about her daughter who had just gotten allergy testing done. She's like, she's allergic to every tree you can think of. Well, you move into your home or you're doing these renovations and you're using the wood for the trim or the doors or the flooring, and the next thing you know, you're having really bad allergies. Some people aren't just allergic to pet dander. Some people are allergic to wood or trees, and that's just going to set your allergies off. A lot of people, that's another question I get a lot of times, does this really help with my allergies? And honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. It all depends on what you're allergic to. If you're allergic to dust, absolutely. If you're allergic to trees and you just did a whole home renovation with wood, pine wood or whatever you're allergic to, yeah, you're going to see an increase in your allergies. Sheetrock dust, I had a lady tell me that 10 years ago they did a remodel. Her and her husband both got really stuffed up, and they had their air ducts cleaned, felt better. They just did it again 10 years later with sheetrock, and she knows it's the sheetrock dust that's making her allergies flare, so she got her ducts cleaned again.
I have to say that I was surprised you didn't find like terracotta dust in ours, because our whole main floor when we first moved in was terracotta tile. So even our ceilings were lined with it.
Really?
Yeah. I'm surprised the whole thing wasn't just red. That was a big job too, because that's a lot of square footage to have red small squares of terracotta tile.
Yeah. That was speaking of the remodeling and renovations. Definitely, if you guys do and you can stand it, try to do it with the furnace off, so you're not sucking all that dirt and stuff right back into the filter and the return side and pushing it right back through the system.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. We'll be back to talk more with Jess and Garrett Roberts from Capital City Duct Cleaning.
Are you looking for a career that provides you with wealth based on your level of effort, with multiple levels of income, including passive long-term income? If you are interested in real estate or are currently a real estate agent and want to work with a company that wants you to retire with long-term passive income, call your local eXp Realty agent today. And if you don't know one, call Carrie Brown at 785-249-6309. You deserve more of what you work so hard to earn, and eXp is where you should be.
Does your dirty air ducts have you continuously dusting? Ditch the dust brush for our duct truck. Capital City Duct Cleaning is Topeka's new veteran-owned air duct and dryer vent cleaning service. Call today 785-484-2801 or visit us online at capitalcityductcleaning.com for your free quote.
Southwest Topeka has a good neighbor. State Farm agent Jim Garrison, now at 29th and Urish. If your current insurance situation has you going around in circles, get off the roundabout and stop in and meet Jim and his wonderfully efficient staff. Let Jim Garrison give you a quote and make the Garrison comparison. He's confident that with State Farm's competitive rates, the right coverage, and his unmatched service, you'll want to make him your new insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Jim Garrison is there for you, northeast of the roundabout at 29th and Urish. In today's world, health is a huge concern, and Euphoria has the answer. Euphoria is the one and only company to offer personalized designer nutritional supplements based upon your DNA profile with nearly 400 million unique formulas. A DNA test unlocks the secrets to your actionable genes and their influence on your body. Euphoria's home-based DNA non-invasive saliva kit is all you need to send your sample to the lab. You'll receive a customized report addressing your DNA deficiencies with an action plan. To learn more, go to myfuture.euphoriascience.com. Make 2021 your healthiest year yet.
Thanks for joining us again. This is Carrie Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty and the Preferred Advisors team, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. I am back with my co-hosts, Jess and Garrett Roberts from Capital City Duct Cleaning Service. Thanks for joining me again.
Thanks for having us.
So, real quick, if you have thought about selling your house, please put it on the market. We are so low in inventory. I have 16 buyers right now that I'm helping personally that I cannot find a house for. They want specific things, and it's just not there. So, and also, if you live around Lake Javaro, I have a family specifically looking for a house on the rim of the lake. So, be sure and give me a call at 785-213-5188. Please list your houses. They are selling like hotcakes. There is no better time to put it on the market. Now, if they want to get a hold of you guys to have their ducts cleaned,
yeah.
How do they get a hold of you?
Well, you can give us a call. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Again, my name's Jess. I'm Garrett's wife, and we're kind of just us two. And he has a partner that he works with during the cleaning, but it's just me and Waylon at home. So if you hear him in the background, just bear with me. He is a hurricane. We call him Turbo. But you can call me at 785-484-2801. You can find us online at www.capitalcityductcleaning.com, and the capital is with an O. You can also get your quotes online. Just go to our website, click on Get a Quote, and it sends me the form that you fill out with all the information that I need. I'll email that quote back to you, and then you just make the decision whether you're ready or not. So that's probably the easiest way to get a free estimate. But again, I would be more than happy to talk to you. You can find us on Facebook, tons of reviews, lots of videos. We really like to show you guys what we can do. So that's been really fun for me. I'm the one who gets to chit-chat with everybody all day while Garrett's working.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Turbo is so incredibly, again, his name is Waylon, but man, he's cute.
Oh my gosh, he is such a handful. I don't know how many times throughout the day that I have to apologize because that kid is in the background just being himself. And
Turbo just recently came back also.
Oh yeah, I had to take him the other day to get a haircut, and you're going to die at this. I take him in there, and a couple months ago, Waylon was growing a mullet, and thought it was the coolest thing. It really just added to his personality, and we cut it off for a birthday party, for a little girl's birthday party that he was trying to impress.
Oh, my goodness.
And Waylon's only 4, so I remember when we cut it off, he, looked in the mirror, and I'm like, what do you think, buddy? And he's like, I'm just Waylon now.
Oh,
it was like we cut off his personality. It was terrible. So the other day I take him to get a haircut, and we walk in, and they're like, hey, how are you guys doing? And he's like, I want a mullet. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Everybody's dying laughing. So we leave there, and Garrett calls, and we're on our way home on Bluetooth, and Waylon's like, Dad. And Garrett's like, yeah, buddy, what's up? And he's like, Turbo's back.
Oh, my goodness.
It was too much. So that's our son, Waylon. If you hear him, he is every bit of ornery that you hear. And I apologize now, but it is my biggest joy and biggest blessing to get to stay home with my kids. So we make it work.
And if you really have a sense of humor, you should have Jess email you over a video of her daughter whenever she first saw The Grinch.
Oh, my God.
That video
Has went viral.
How many views is it so far?
I think it's like at 120,000 views on Facebook, and I can't tell you how many share it, like 3,000. I don't even know. This year, I've shared it since Sawyer was 2. No, she was 1, just learning really how to talk. 1 or 2, I can't remember. The last few years, I've shared it, and for some reason this year, it just took off. So I wouldn't be surprised if you've already heard her calling the Grinch a really nice, kind word. But she couldn't pronounce it very well.
She couldn't say the G. So it's really pretty funny. Those two they're just like a comedy show all in themselves. And Jess's reaction is even better.
Yeah, pray for me if you don't mind.
Yeah. So we need to, keep those kids with shoes on. So be sure and give these guys a call. Okay, so Garrett, your truck is like really funny looking.
Yeah, it's a different setup. So it's a Pringle vac truck. And you might see in the pictures when it's running and pulling vacuum, bags pop out of the top. And that's just, all that's doing is collecting the dust that's coming out of the house, so it's not shooting straight to the air all over the house and yard and everything else. And when we get done and turn the vacuum off, all that drops right into the truck, into a dust box that's on there. And so everything that's in the house, it leaves in the truck with us when we're going out the driveway.
So what did the kids say whenever they saw it for the first time? Did they try to get up on top of them?
We all thought it was like, when there's a grand opening and they have that like air thing that kind of like does the wave and catches your attention. When the bags pop out, it kind of looks like the wave guy that like catches your attention. And the kids were like, wow, what's that thing doing?
I had a lady tell me that we needed to paint it yellow and look like the Minions popping out the top.
That would be awesome. Hilarious.
I wonder if you could order, colored bags and put faces on them.
Could. Yeah.
They make everything now.
Yeah.
That would be funny. The Mini-mobile.
Yeah. So a lot of questions, or another question I was going to ask Garrett earlier, and I totally forgot, was a lot of people asked me what's so special about the truck? Like what makes us different than just somebody that comes with other duct cleaning equipment?
So with the truck, you're going to be pulling a lot more CFM on vacuum wise once you put the system under negative pressure. I believe the truck's pulling around 15,000 CFM, and for a truck and a gas or a diesel motor with the PTO and everything, you're going to be pulling quite a bit more than like a vacuum that you can plug into a wall outlet, and that's what some people use, and that's not always bad, but in some situations they're needed. It just for like a normal size residential house, it definitely helps to have a vac truck.
Yeah, in commercial buildings, Garrett's capable of cleaning larger buildings as well. Office spaces, if you don't get your office space cleaned and you're spending 8 hours of your day at your office, but you're getting your air ducts cleaned at home and you're spending 4 hours there, it's just something like think about where you're spending your time and what you're breathing in. Because a lot of times people just don't think, what's in my air? You just expect your indoor air quality to be better than outdoor air quality. And if you Google search it, that's usually not the case. Our indoor air quality is usually 3 to 5 times, up to 100 times worse than what outdoor air quality is. Just crazy to think about.
And if you think at any point that you bought a home that might have had mold or, the green stuff that grows on the walls that might be shaded more towards black, they oftentimes, they literally need to be cleaned. There are air quality tests that you can do. Just spraying that down with bleach, and depending on how much area was affected, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. So there's I've seen it a few times on like fiberboard ductwork and stuff like that, like real fibrous materials, especially if you got a humidifier up in the plenum. They're pretty known for getting moldy, but to be honest, I would 100% recommend replacing that stuff versus trying to clean it and then not getting it. And then the other issue is you definitely have to find out why it's getting wet and in there and what's causing it to grow. But it's
it's just like a tricky thing in general, even for like real estate and duct cleaning as well. It has to be tested. There's so many things that are unknown with mold. But yeah, if you have it and it needs to be, you've had it tested and it's definitely mold and needs to be cleaned.
You can also encapsulate too once it's cleaned, just in case something was missed or it's covered up now and not going to come back out. But that's the little M word's a word we don't like to hear. So, and like I said, we're not scientists, and if I see it, I'm not going to call it mold unless it's sent off to a lab somewhere and verified on that's what it is. So.
And that was the reason why I described it in a different way, because we can't either. I mean, even if it's hanging from the ceiling, we can't say that that's what it is until it's tested, because there are so many different types, and a lot of them actually only affect plants. So the reality is, if you think that there's some there, you need to have it tested. A lot of times you see that it's been like painted over in foreclosed homes.
Yeah, I've seen like kilts. Like people think they can just kilt it.
Yeah, so it's asking the questions: what really happened? How did it get remediated?
Right.
And especially if you move in, I had one that I had sold to a buyer, and they had, whenever they were gutting it, they had pulled the stuff up through the front door from the basement. Well, now they've carried all those spores throughout the main floor of the house.
Same with asbestos tape. Like if asbestos tape is wrapped around your ductwork, a lot of people will ask us to come clean. And if your house was built before 1965, one of my questions is probably going to be, have you had your ductwork replaced since 1965? Because if you haven't, there's a chance that you have that asbestos tape on there. And agitating that obviously is a huge liability to us, something that we won't do, and is a huge health risk to you as well. So we have some people that we would recommend that you'd contact to get that taken care of. And they also do mold and mildew removal as well, just to get that, encapsulated and they're licensed. That's a big thing in that area, is to make sure that it's done by a licensed professional.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are getting close to being out of time. What are other things that people should know before you get there?
So kind of back to where we were at earlier, the first thing I'll do is I want to see your furnace when I come in. Like I said, make sure everything's open and I'll be able to access everything. And I'll do a little walk around and see if there's asbestos tape, if it's a older house or anything like that. And after that, I'll go upstairs and do a little vent count, double make sure of what we got on the estimates right. And if everything checks out, we'll start dragging hoses in and get them set up and start cleaning. And then I'll probably have you sign before the work starts, just saying that you like the price and everything's good and it's good for us to get started. Then I'll have you put your name at the end. Also, we'll also do a little signature before we leave, saying we cleaned up everything looks good, you're happy with it, and we're out the door.
Yeah, and he shows you pictures too, so that's awesome. Again, real quick, how do they get a hold of you guys?
You guys can give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 785-484-2801. You can find us online at www.capitalcity.cleaning.com, and that's capital with an O. You can look about all of our information on there. There's an About Me section. Get a quote. Find a little bit more about Garrett and how we got here in Topeka. Garrett is a veteran, so he's pretty proud of that. Pretty proud to still be serving his community, and we're just really proud of him.
Thank you.
And if you're looking to buy or sell, be sure and give us a call at 785-213-5188. The show will be ending the end of February. This will be going to a podcast with more of a show and tell type of atmosphere. So be sure and look. We'll be announcing further into the show near February where to find it. But I have loved working and doing the radio show for the past 5.5 years. So thank you for listening. We'll still be here till the end of February. So thanks for listening. And if you want to search websites to see what else is out there, be sure and go to our website. You can go to TopekaAreaHomes.com, and actually you can find anything in Northeast Kansas there. So thanks for listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Carrie Brown team from Preferred Advisors.